Jumbo jets are his favorite. In particular, the ones of KLM. Robert Greene talks about finding your passion by going back to what you were obsessed with at a very young age, like 4 or 5. So, I got a pretty good idea what this passion will be for my oldest son. So as part of my super dad move, I'm always like, you're into this? No. We are into this. And that's exactly what going against mediocrity is all about. That's why in this video I will make a plane out of plywood that has a compartment to hold his personal items. And by the end of this video, I will show it to my son and he will help me to paint it. So this 7x7 is going to be the model for the build. And yeah, these are some of the materials. So I have like some old wheels, and I got this wheel. It turns a little bit rough, but I think he's going to play with it pretty rough as well. And I want it to be a little bit true to the model. So in a plane, always the back wheels are underneath the big wings. So I'll do the same here. So I'll find a piece of 2x4 to put underneath the plywood, so the wheels can actually go underneath the wings. Alright, so I'll start by cutting off a piece of 2x4 that fits in between the wheels, and it should be about 36. I'll make it a little bit smaller in case the wheels move a bit like so. So there's some wiggle room, so I'll make it 35. So I'll mark it at 35. And the idea is that this narrow piece will go on top, so it has more wiggle room. Cut off that one time, so I'll also mark this one at 35. And for this project I will heavily sand everything. Now, next up I'll try to draw the nose of the plane to the best of my abilities at the front of the plywood. I'll just start on one side and then you use this as the shape for the other one, so it comes out very uniform. Now, and while I'm at it, I'm also just gonna do the tail of the plane. So I will use the leftover pieces to make the shape on the opposite side, so it comes out very uniform. I'll do the same for the tail of the plane. Alright, so it looks pretty uniform, so I'm gonna heavily sand this piece as well. Now, it feels pretty smooth. I realized I just made a mistake. I peeled off a piece that was sticking out. I think I should have used glue to glue it in place, but yeah, my big concern is there being pieces of wood sticking out to, you know, splinters, and that's not good when you have little boys around the house. So that was my concern there. Alright, so next up I'll continue with the wings. So it's gonna be a mix between realism and being able to carry it in the car. So realistically the wings should be way longer, but I think this is already quite big as far as the wings are concerned. Again, I'll be using the 747 as the model. Mark like the middle line here. I'll use the same strategy as before. I cut off one half and then trace that half onto the other side. So this is just to mark the middle. Okay. Okay. So I will just flip it and trace it onto the other side. I prefer reusing the wood, but with the cement on one side, it really tears up the sandpaper pretty quick. So it's a small price to pay because this is pretty cheap sandpaper. It looks like I can make the small wings out of the leftover piece, so that's kind of good. Kind of cool. 48, okay. I'm just measuring the length to see where the middle is, and also I don't want this sharp tip here, so I'll cut it off here, and then the remainder it's 48. So at 24 I will mark the middle right here. Okay, so I'll just make a design on this side and then take it from there. I'll extend the line of the middle. Alright, so once again I'll just cut off this piece here, and then I can put it on the wood here and trace it onto the wood. Alright, time to see how everything fits together this far. Kind of looks like a plane, so that's good enough. So I'll put the wheels underneath, and then I'll have to think about a compartment. Initially I was thinking about making like a whole part on top here, but I think I'm just going to resort to basically only a cockpit because of time constraints, and also like I think it's going to be too complicated for the build that I have in mind. So I'll start with putting all this together, and then this is what I will do. I'll make like a box that can go in front here that you can open and close. So I'll start with the wheels. I have 3 ends and 2 ends. The 3 ends, okay, it can go through the middle, okay. So this is 24. Also, well, almost 24. So the 2x4 and the 2x2 will hold the axis, so that needs to be at the 90 degrees. So I'm just gonna screw it in on one side and then make sure that it's positioned in the right way. It's pretty hard to turn, so that's how I want it, because then I can position the carpenter square like so and make sure that it's at a 90-degree angle. Repeat the same on top here for these pieces. Okay, turn it back over and drive in a couple of more screws. Now the wheels should fit on top and spin freely. That's the hard way. Okay. Now you may remember I'm a big fan of these, so that's what I'll be using to keep the wheels in place. I have 4 ultra short screws which I will use to keep the straps in place, and then I plan to drill 2 holes to the side so I can drive in 2 longer screws. Let's see if this does the job of making a small hole so the drill doesn't start drifting. You know what? Actually it does, so I'm really surprised. So I'm gonna drill a hole in the metal straps so I can drive in a couple of 2-inch screws. I should be using some cooling paste because the drill gets extremely hot like this, and without cooling it's really gonna wear it down quite a lot. But I don't have cooling paste, so I'll just continue. And these holes were really needed because, like so, there's a bit of play, and I don't want that. I want to be really firm in place, so this is going to be a toy that can be used for quite some time. So that seems to be okay, like a piece of 2x4 and a piece of plywood. Alright, so I'll drive in some 2-inch screws, and then from the other side I'll drive in some 3-inch screws, and then it should be extremely strong. And since I don't have the right size washers, I'm gonna use some nuts. Let's see if it, yeah, this is gonna work. Alright. So I'm trying to figure out a strategy for driving in the screws from the other side. And if I look at it here, like at this point where the wood is starting to turn, this is where the middle of this wood can be. So I can keep that as a reference point. So when I turn it around, I'll just very lightly draw the square, so I know exactly like in which area I can insert the screws. I will start with one square in the middle to see if I like the place of the wheel. Alright, so I'm gonna keep it extremely simple. I'm just gonna make a basic box, I think in this area here, that will be big enough to hold you know, the lunchbox and juice and water. So that's the next order of business. Let's measure first. So this, I'll make it like 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Let's see how high. Maybe about 15 high, that makes sense. So I want a box of 20 by 20, and this piece of plywood is 30 centimeters. So I'll have some leftover pieces, but that's the way it is. Alright, so this might be the roughest build ever. Like, I'm just gonna use some screws to keep it in place. You know, screws is my preferred way of attaching wood because it's easy to take loose if you make a mistake. Let's see, this piece is kind of low. Okay, I like this one. Now the chickens want more food. Can you believe that? I'm not gonna give them more food. Unless, let me know in the comments below, should the chickens get more cat food? Yes or no? Drop a C for the chickens in the chat. If you want cat food for the chickens, drop a C in the chat. Alright, I'm gonna continue drilling this wood, because if I don't, you know, the plywood on top will not split, but the other one, it definitely will. And I only have like 2-inch screws, so that's the reason why as well. Alright, I'm gonna see if someone dropped the C for the chickens, because the chickens are still there and they might be hungry. So let's take a look. Is there a C for the chickens? No C for the chickens? Oh boy, that's cold. Like the chickens are gonna get hungry. They're right there, they're still waiting, and Big Rooster is there as well. I guess that's how it is. Alright, so I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna make sure that I drill the wood in the right spot. So I'm gonna extend this line here, very simple. Then carry it down. And then on the other side I will make a straight line too. And the same thing I will do on the other side. Right here. So stake it here, carry it down. Small mark here. Repeat from the other side. Carry it down. Mark here. And also here on this side. Small mark here, and then I will turn the plane upside down so I can drill it in the right spot. Okay, so I have the points here on the other side, and I'm just gonna connect them. So I know for a fact where the line is gonna be, where I will drill and drive in some screws. Now the box is in place, so now I can find a good spot for the wings, and well, this seems to be as good as any. So I'll just use some more of the 2-inch screws. But I need to make sure that I drill into the 2x4, because 2 pieces of plywood is not thick enough, and let me show you what I mean. Like 2 pieces of plywood is too thin for the 2-inch screw, so that's why I need to make sure that I drill into the 2x4 that holds the wheel in place. So drop in the comments in the chat like what you are currently working on. Are you making something for your kid, or something for around the house, or fixing something? What is your current project? yeah, this is really not gonna work. The only thing I can think of to do in this case is to add another piece of plywood underneath. Let me show you. Because if I have 3 pieces, like so, then I can hopefully use my 2-inch screws. Yeah, so that would work. Yeah, alright, so I'll add this thin piece of plywood, this small piece of plywood underneath, so I can use a 2-inch screw to drive in here to keep the small wing in place. Now, and I will clamp the small piece of wood in place to make it easier to drive in the screws. I got some hinges here that I will use to attach the cover of the storage compartment. I will attach them first like so, and it comes with small screws provided, so that's ideal. Open, close, nice. Wow, I'm surprised. So this is a prime example of combining work and pleasure. It took an unreasonably long time, but since I'm making a video about it, I think it's more than alright. I made sure to make this extremely strong. It's heavily sanded, so there are no splinters sticking out. My oldest son Tik already came home. I made it for you today, Tikka. Yeah, with my tools and some plywood. You like it, Tikka? Yeah. You know what it's for?
For school.
For school, for tomorrow. And you know where to put your lunchbox and your drink? Exactly, in the secret compartment. Cool.
Wait for you standing there.
No, just a video. I want to document it.
Mama!
Take a kiss naar de gate, Renne.